Children were scalded when a steam table tipped over in the lunch line. Dallas Rescue says one little girl was seriously hurt and now has third-degree burns. DISD says the children leaned on the wheeled table, causing it to flip. The man accused of killing his 14-year-old stepson and kidnapping the boy's mother is still in jail tonight. Meanwhile, authorities are still deciding on whether to charge the suspect with capital murder. Fox 4's Melissa Cutler tells us that decision is not an easy one.
In the hours after the murder of 14-year-old Joshua Henry, Lancaster police have been working on the charges to file against his stepfather, Brian Booker, who's accused of checking Henry out of school Tuesday, then shooting the boy in the head minutes later. Some wonder, could the suspect be charged with capital murder? Former U.S. prosecutor turned defense attorney John Teakle.
Whether or not he was abducted, that is, taken with the intent or with the use or the threat of deadly force, is going to be a question.
Experts say first the state must prove there was a murder. Then it must prove the murder was done during the commission of another felony, such as kidnapping. Teakle says a lot depends on whether the suspect threatened Joshua when he whispered to him just before taking him out of school, and whether Booker held the boy against his will before allegedly shooting him.
I think it's going to be more turning on the facts of whether or not that there was some deadly force alleged or threatened by the father, and then whether or not he took and hid or secreted that person.
What could hurt the state, experts say, is the suspect is a relative and that he was allowed to check the boy out.
Here you've got a parent, he's a relative, who was, the argument could be made that he was trying to take a lawful control, or at least at the very moment that he was at the school. And if there's no deadly force or no threat of it, then that could be a defense.
After allegedly killing Joshua, police say Booker kidnapped his wife to Colorado, where he was found barricaded inside the home of a relative. He was arrested, his wife found unharmed. Booker is not expected to be brought back to Texas until next week at the earliest. Melissa Cutler, Fox 4 News.
An Army National Guardsman just weeks away from being home with his family in Arlington was killed in Iraq. Sergeant Steve Maureen was killed by an explosive that went off near his